There's a unique kind of bond that quietly exists without ever announcing itself. No declarations, no dramatic confessions, no "I miss you" messages, just subtle signs. Perhaps it's someone who never really leaves your world. Someone who observes from afar. Someone whose presence is sensed even in silence. You notice it in the way they look at you, in how they recall tiny details, or how they respond when you pull away. Psychology suggests that profound attachment doesn't always speak, it reveals itself. And once you see these signals, you'll recognize something both unsettling and beautiful. They felt a connection to you emotionally long before you realized it. Sign 1. They remember the tiniest details about you, even the ones you thought were forgotten. It's a moment most overlook. It isn't dramatic. It comes with no confession. It doesn't resemble love. It unfolds quietly. You mentioned something casually once, a story, a preference, a passing remark you assumed didn't matter. And weeks, sometimes months later, they bring it up. Not to impress, not to prove a point, simply because it stayed with them. And for a moment, you pause, wondering how they remembered that. Psychology explains this isn't random. The human brain is highly selective, forgetting the majority of what it hears. Most conversations vanish within hours. Details blur. Words fade. So when someone recalls even your smallest details, it's because your presence holds emotional weight in their mind, not logical weight. Emotional weight. Here's what's really happening underneath. When someone is deeply attached to you, their brain flags everything about you as emotionally significant. These details aren't merely stored. They're encoded, because emotion enhances memory retention. You might think they're just attentive, but attention without attachment is fleeting. Attachment converts awareness into lasting memory. Consider this. They don't only remember facts. They notice patterns. How your mood shifts when you're exhausted. How you fall silent before opening up. How you smile when something stings. They aren't merely listening. They're observing. An observation without attachment fades, but emotional connection drives subconscious focus. Not in a creepy way, in a profoundly human way. Because when someone cares deeply, their brain quietly asks, how can I remain close? Remembering details is one answer. It helps them comfort you, understand you, feel nearer without saying a word. That's why they sometimes surprise you with exactly what you needed to hear, even when you never voiced it. They might recall things you've forgotten saying, because when you spoke, you were talking, but when they listened, they were connecting. Psychologists call this emotional encoding, storing experiences as feelings, not data. When they think of you, it's more than your face, they remember emotions. A fundamental truth is that people subconsciously remember most what they fear losing. Even if they've never admitted it, even if they act casual, even if they deny their feelings, memory doesn't lie. So when someone recalls your smallest, unnoticed details, you occupy a permanent place in their mind. Such attachment doesn't fade quietly. Sign 2. They sense your emotions without explanation. Certain connections require no words. You don't say you're drained, they hear it in your tone. You don't say you're upset, they feel it in your silence. You don't say something's wrong, yet they inquire anyway. Psychology calls this emotional attunement. It arises when two nervous systems adapt to each other over time, forming only when attachment exists. Someone deeply attached tracks your emotional patterns instinctively. They notice when your laughter shifts, when your energy dims, often before you do. Attachment sharpens perception. The more emotionally invested, the more attuned to subtle changes. Slight shifts in your tone, shorter replies, quieter presence. They feel it immediately. That's why they may ask, "Are you okay?" even when you plan to say nothing. And when you respond, "I'm fine," they often don't fully believe you. Their emotional system already knows differently. Mirror neurons explain this. They allow humans to feel what others feel. Strong attachment heightens these neurons' activity. Your sadness unsettles them. Your anxiety tugs at them. Your joy lifts them. Your state no longer resides solely within you. Someone merely interested listens to words. Someone attached listens to emotional signals. That's why even minor emotional withdrawal unsettles them. They notice the distance, sense the shift, and often respond quietly with presence, checking in, staying near, offering comfort without being asked. Your emotional state shapes theirs. Sign 3. They feel uneasy when you withdraw, even slightly. You don't announce it. You don't dramatize. You just become quieter. Replies are slower. Your energy changes. You share less. And they notice, not because you said anything, but because emotional attachment amplifies distance. Psychology calls this attachment sensitivity. When a deeply bonded person senses a shift in closeness, their system reacts even if nothing outwardly changed. They might not confront you, but subtle adjustments arise, more questions, more check-ins. It isn't about control, it's about emotional security. Your presence stabilizes their inner world. When that presence falters, their system responds. And here's the key: they don't react because you did wrong. They react because your emotional distance threatens something vital. You matter. Your attention matters. Your warmth matters. Even small changes affect them. You might think, I'm just tired, just busy. But for someone attached, it's profound. Their emotional comfort intertwines with you. They don't just miss talking. They miss your presence, the feeling you bring. Insecurity, overthinking, a need for reassurance, all stem from one truth. They fear losing emotional closeness. Not necessarily you entirely, but the intimacy that feels safe. Those unconnected adapt. Attached people feel the shift instantly. Even if hidden, their actions reveal it. When someone changes as you pull back, it's because your presence is already rooted in their emotional world. Sign 4. They find reasons to remain connected, even without purpose. This sign is subtle, often mistaken for coincidence. They don't chase loudly. They don't demand attention. They don't confess. They simply stay. A message about something minor. A post that reminded them of you. A question they could have Googled. A memory mentioned at random. There's no pressing reason, yet they persist. Psychology labels this proximity-seeking behavior a natural response to attachment. Their mind seeks ways to maintain the bond without risk of rejection. Instead of saying, I don't want to lose you, they send, did you see this? Instead of admitting, I miss you, they say, this reminded me of you. Connection is preserved indirectly, safely, because attachment fears two things: losing you and revealing their care. Presence without confession becomes the middle ground. They remain in your orbit. Psychology shows repetition reflects attachment. Our minds dwell on those we emotionally value. When someone repeatedly finds small reasons to stay connected, it's because losing access feels like losing something vital they aren't ready to name. Sign 5. They protect you quietly. Attachment doesn't always shout. It shows in subtle care. They notice shifts in mood, stress, or minor inconveniences. They step in to help, defend, or ensure you're okay, often without acknowledgement. Psychology explains this through emotional bonding. Humans instinctively protect those they are deeply connected to. Your well-being intertwines with theirs. You might notice small gestures, check-ins during rough days, subtle interventions when risk appears. They prioritize your needs quietly, not for recognition or praise. It isn't conscious heroism, it's subconscious care. Protection occurs without request because attachment fosters vigilance. Your emotions, stress, struggles, they feel them deeply. When you're threatened, they act. This silent, invisible care reveals profound attachment. Even unspoken, it's their way of staying near, demonstrating loyalty, silently saying, you matter to me. I want to be here. Deep attachment lingers in gestures, attention, and care. If you notice these signs, understand, someone who truly values you shows it without words. If this resonated, like it to honor your awareness, comment below, and subscribe. The next video explores what it truly means when someone is attached yet hesitant to admit it. Recognizing these emotions is the first step toward understanding the depth of human connection.